I'm gonna jump into the official review where you won't see my face. It'll be audio and I'll be showing pictures. But I just watched the greatest episode of television ever. I've seen Game of Thrones 10 fucking times, all the way through. I have never seen an episode of television this faithfully adapted from the source material and then expanding upon it. Somehow, they not only adapted the book, but faithfully, right? But then expanded upon it in a way that is so fucking meaningful. I've lost my mind. I've been running around the house like my kids are over at their grandma's house. My girlfriend took them over there, right? I've been running around my house screaming, "Woo!" for like 15 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. Please slap a like on this if you enjoy my content. Also, please subscribe and have your notifications turned on. I'm gonna be live. I'm live right now on YouTube. But yeah, holy shit, let's jump right into it. Okay, so real quick, let's talk performances. I want you to see my face. Millie Alcock. Holy fuck. I had never heard of you until this show. And I guarantee you, this will make you a superstar. Her performance was amazing, right? So we start out, we've got several scenes that I want to address. There's going to be like 12 different scenes that I want to address in particular. But Millie Alcock's performance was fucking phenomenal. It's going to be insane to watch Emma Darcy take over that role. But I have all faith in this show. And I know it's going to be spectacular. Matt Smith, Prince Daemon. He's literally the reason why I'm probably going to be wearing red and black for the rest of my YouTube life. Right? I can... so many scenes. Like, remember when he was fucking... Like that, y'all can't see me, but he had the hip game, he had the stroke game. I got that stroke game too. Okay, so before I really jump into it, I need to give a fair spoiler warning. The reason why I'm giving this spoiler warning is because, yes, we've both seen, we've all seen episode 1, but really, I feel like I've taken it a step further. Not only have I been listening to Fire and Blood over and over again, like I've literally listened to the entire thing 4 times, I've read it twice, right, so that's 6 times total, but also, I followed every single one of the leaks. The entire time they've been filming part of this year, and really all of last year, I've been privy to that information. I've made videos on it. So, spoiler warning. Please slap a like and make sure you're subscribed. Not every video will be like this. Okay, so the show starts out with a voiceover from the actress who's playing the older version of Rhaenyra. Their name is Emma Darcy, and they explain to us that the Targaryens at this time, when Jaehaerys reigned for 60 years, had 10 dragons, and they were really at the height of their power when her father Viserys takes over. And then there's a 9-year time jump, and then bam, we see Rhaenyra flying the city. I love the way that the opening title thing said 173 years before the death of the Mad King and his birth, the birth of his daughter Daenerys, right? It just phased out all of that to 173 years before Daenerys. It's like it's so Ryan Condon, Miguel Sapochnik, whichever one of you maestros are responsible for that, you're fucking amazing, right? And then we have Daemon with the gold cloaks. Now this is going to be really interesting, right? So we had it explained in the episode from Viserys to Otto that pretty much every single appointment that Daemon was given in the small council and then taking over the gold cloaks was thanks to Sir Otto. It's all been by suggestion of him. So Daemon may not fit in at one place, like he was a tyrant when he was master of laws, and he would have stolen all the money when he was master of coin. And now as the gold cloaks, he's considered a ruthless, villainous asshole with 2,000 men under his control, according to Sir Otto. Viserys has kind of had it up to hear with him, and he's like, you know what, fuck off. And obviously later on at the end of the episode, we realize that Daemon has been exiled from King's Landing and sent back to the Vale. Obviously, that's not the case. Daemon introduces Mysaria, the White Worm, Misery, the White Worm. We're going to find out why she has that nickname later on this season. But he introduces her to Caraxes, who I will say has these cat eye, blue eyes. And then, oh man, this Caraxes, you look fucking amazing, bro. I'm probably going to get you tatted all up and down my arm. I'm going to be doing a dragon sleep. But yeah, according to the trailer, so this isn't really a spoiler, we all know that Daemon flies over the Dragonstone. And then we have that one scene that's been repeated over and over through all of these seasons teaser trailers is the showdown between him and Sir Otto, right? Sir Otto shows up right when Daemon's trying to steal the dragon egg with Mysaria, and then ultimately we see Rhaenyra and Syrax come and land in between them. It looks like she's probably going to be siding with her father, not allowing Daemon to escape, per se, with the dragon egg, right? Like, apparently, in the books, Daemon gives Mysaria a dragon egg, and she's able to escape with it she's able to escape away at sea, not with the dragon egg, obviously. And when she's out at sea, the ship is attacked by a storm, and then Mysaria loses her child, and this is sort of another thing that happens in between Daemon and Viserys. I'm not sure if they're going to go that route. Mysaria is very clearly not pregnant in these episodes when Daemon's trying to leave with her. And then, like, about halfway through the episode, holy shit, it's a tourney scene with Daemon and Gwaine Hightower, and we've gotten Kristen Cole and Daemon all facing off, and like it's all intermixed with the Emma Aaron birth scene. I just want to say that I've seen some crazy TV, right? I used to watch The Walking Dead. I've seen any show that is worth watching as far as like in the same vein of these things, so like, you know, fantasy dark TV shows like The Witcher. I have never seen anything quite as traumatic as this scene with Emma Aaron. Like, I knew she was going to die. I knew exactly what was going to go down. I just didn't know that they were going to do it this way. And this is one of those things that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that they've sort of added to the source material while still keeping in canon and expanding it to a way that it's awesome. It's not just a dumb way to show you that this is an adaptation and is different from the books. No, they've expanded upon the source material. The Maesters cut into Emma Aaron to do a cesarean and ended up killing her in the process. And I will say that the way that Grand Maester Mellos looks at Prince Balon, you know, according to Daemon, the heir for a day, I wouldn't be surprised if the Grand Maester conspiracy is more of a thing on this show and he's working hand in hand with Sir Otto. We see how he'll talk to Sir Otto before he even talks to the king at times, Grand Maester Mellos, right? So Grand Maester Mellos and Sir Otto are probably working together. I wouldn't be surprised if they killed Balon in order to make way for the king to marry Alicent, Sir Otto's daughter. That's a theory that I'm going to probably drop a video on. We all know in the books, the Maesters are responsible for the downfall of the dragons, and the main reason being is because they sort of agree with Viserys in that Targaryens and Valyrians should have never messed with dragons. There was a power that man couldn't control, and it's a fallacy to think that the Targaryens have any control over these nuclear weapons, right? So the Maesters wiped them out, something known as the tragedy at Summerhall, and also in the main book series right now, they may actually be working with the Faceless Men because they're at the Citadel and trying to learn, or more so, Shavepate just stole a key that has access to all of the doors in the Citadel, and the Faceless Men probably want to wipe out the dragons as well because they were founded by a city who was founded by former slaves of Valyria. So it's a giant chain of command. Like I said, it deserves its own video. My one complaint with the scene is that all of those hands inside of Emma, oh my God, that was hard to watch. Like, Jesus, I just watched my children being born, and it wasn't nearly as brutal as that. Oh my gosh, this was crazy. It went on a little bit too long is my one complaint. That's it. Then after Balon dies, but that was one of the things that I wanted to mention. I wouldn't be surprised if Grand Maester Mellos actually poisoned Balon. Like, he survived for a day, right? And then, you know, we have the scene with Daemon in how he rented out that whole brothel and basically gave the speech about, well, now I'm definitely the heir because the one son that the king had died, right? And Emma tells you she's had 5 pregnancies so far, and she's tired of mourning children. She keeps losing child, like, in the process, and she begs Viserys, this is the last time, right? And it's crazy because for the most part, you see Viserys, the first scene we see him in, he's eating an egg, right? So we're like, oh, this dude's laid back. He's laughing. He's smiling. The whole time at the tourney, his face is lit up. He's enjoying life. And then he chooses to murder his wife at not a guarantee that he'd be saving his son. Because Grand Maester Mellos literally says this process is like, we're just learning it at the Citadel, and like the amount of blood that basically he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He had just kind of heard about it, like Sam, when he removed the grayscale from Jorah Mormont, right? It's kind of just, they did it on a whim, and obviously it was pointless because Balon ended up dying. I wouldn't be surprised if Grand Maester Mellos actually poisoned Balon, Viserys' son Balon, Rhaenyra's little brother, the little baby that was burned at the funeral pile, and it may be revealed later on this season or in a later season. But that brings into the next thing I want to talk about is Aemma Arryn being burned with Balon. Like that scene where Rhaenyra had to tell Syrax to say Dracarys and burn her mother, it was gut-wrenching. On a side note, that was the second time we saw Daemon and Rhaenyra speak Valyrian to each other. Holy shit! That's exactly what I wanted. I said in my videos from 2 years ago, I was like, yo, I hope they use Valyrian in this show to get up on people. Like, they're around people who don't speak it, and that's their love language, right? That's exactly what they did for this show. Holy shit. I mean, obviously, anybody who's read the books would kind of want them to do that as well, but it's so fucking dope. Like I said, that is the most heart-wrenching Dracarys moment ever. And it's sort of in direct contrast when Daenerys uses Dracarys for the first time to have Drogon burn the Warlocks of Qarth and Pyat Pri at the House of the Undying. When Daenerys tells them to burn them on the TV show, this was like in direct contrast to that. Like Aemma Arryn, Rhaenyra's mother, is dying. Or she's already dead and she's now, it was so much more of a heart-wrenching moment in comparison with the moment of triumph with Daenerys on the TV show. Doesn't quite go down like that in the books, but ultimately Drogon does kind of save Daenerys from the House of the Undying. And then the next scene that I want to talk about, and this was we saw this in the trailer, right? The small council is worried about the succession of the throne because obviously Prince Daemon, Otto says he would be a second Maegor, and really that's his own political maneuverings. But no, the Daemon that we see on this TV show, at least the sides that we've seen so far, he would in fact be an agent of chaos, right? And then obviously he has an arc just like most people in this show. They do things like with Viserys, like I was saying earlier, he's a great character. He seems like this dude that would choose life because he's so happy with life over death, and then he ends up, killing his wife and holding on to her as she's dying. That was such a traumatic fucking scene to watch, and that's probably why it's so easy for him to get angry with Daemon right after that. But isn't it funny how Sir Otto basically pimped out his daughter? He's like, Alicent, wear the dress, wear your mother's dress, kind of thing. Go comfort the king. It's crazy. But I will say that Emily Carey is doing an amazing job so far portraying the younger version of Alicent. She's always got a book in her hands, and that's really important because in the books, Alicent used to read to the old King Jaehaerys, and that was sort of the last thing that happened. Jaehaerys lays down to go to bed, and Alicent's reading to him from Septon Barth's Unnatural History, which I hope is a book that's later brought up on the show. If you all watching this video are book fans, let me know if you think that would be something that could be brought up. Maybe they could address how dragons are male and female, or, the way that they actually lay eggs, right? Supposedly dragons can change their sex at will. And then after Daemon has the scene with Viserys, we see that Viserys ends up cutting his hand, and he's already cut earlier in the episode on his back. He's got this nasty oozing infection thing. Now, traditionally, when a ruler is cut by the Iron Throne, when they're spurned by it, that means they're cursed, and they're going to die on the Iron Throne. They'll never sort of just die of old age kind of thing, right? And it's very interesting, and I hope they make a point to say that about that being an old sort of saying or tradition about how Viserys keeps getting cut. They obviously will. That's why they are making a point to say it, but it's very important for later on in this series when Rhaenyra is also spurned by the Iron Throne. People say she's cursed by it as well, and that ultimately ties into her fate. And after the air for a day in, Viserys sending Daemon back to the Vale of Arryn, obviously Daemon doesn't do that. Like I said, he's going to go to Dragonstone. We're going to see that in episode 2. But we have the kneeling scene from the first trailer where Rhaenyra is officially named the king's heir. Now, one thing that did confuse me, and this is another small complaint, it's Rhaenyra is made the cupbearer because she knows she's going to be her father's heir. She's already the cupbearer before she becomes her father's heir. It's just a small thing that they switched around for the TV show, probably to make it more streamlined since they're not going to be having, at least so far from what we've seen, an even younger actress playing an even younger version of Rhaenyra. That may be the case if they do the Corlys the Sea Snake spinoff, but for right now, I think Millie Alcock is the only actress who's playing the younger version of Rhaenyra. And those who paid attention to detail, if you notice, the Baratheon bastard, Boromir, the guy who got embarrassed Right after talking shit to Rhaenys. By the way, her name is pronounced Rhaenys, not Rhaenys. I think they're saying Rhaenys because of their English accents, but that's another thing that kind of irked me. It's Rhaenys. Rhaenys. Just say it with me now. Rhaenys, not Rhaenys. But anyway, you'll notice Boromund was a bit hesitant when he kneeled down and said, "I, Boromund Baratheon, pledge my allegiance to you, Rhaenyra," right? That is very telling of a future event that will happen at the end of this season. And I feel like I'm spoiling so much. So if you're watching this and I'm still live, go back to watching me live. And yeah, but if not, that scene is crucial for when the Black Council is established and Rhaenyra sends Lucerys to Storm's End. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I know you're probably like, holy shit, this is really short, and I feel like it's short, so if you want me to make these episode breakdown videos longer, like I'm talking 15 minutes plus, then just let me know down below in the comment section. I kind of didn't want to overwhelm people with a really long video because there's probably a lot of new people watching my channel right now, and I can go super in depth, or I can do a more lighthearted, fun breakdown like this one. Thank you. Either way, thank you so much for watching. My name's Mark, and holy shit, House of the Dragon is back. Ryan Condal, Miguel Sapochnik, my dudes, if you are watching this, everybody involved in the writing team, and specifically George R.R. Martin, if you are watching this, you fucking saved our entertainment industry single-handedly. This video, Rhaenyra is told by Viserys that every single ruler since Aegon has this vision of a great threat coming from the north, and there has to be a Targaryen on the Iron Throne to protect and unite the Seven Kingdoms to fight that great white north thing coming. That's all going to tie into the Jon Snow show. If you want more, check out my live stream. I'm probably still live right now. A long night, and thank you. Subscribe if you want to, slap a like if you want to, and turn your notifications on. Sautriza spustari exos dao, Dracarys.